Hey, what's up, guys? So this video is going to be about Jeet Kune Do. This is going to be about just some of the things that Bruce Lee was working on in his life. You know, he accomplished a lot in his life at 32 years old when he passed. Bruce Lee lived from 1940 to 1973. Everybody kind of knows the story. You know that he was in a gang, and he excuse me, he was in a gang, and his father sent him at 18 years old over to the United States, and in the 1950s, he was a bachata champion, not a bachata champion. He was a salsa dance champion. But all these different things in Bruce Lee's life was the development of his martial art, right? Not only was he a philosopher, he was also a writer. He was a martial artist. He was an actor. He was a father. He was a husband, right? So he did a lot in his life at a very young age. So we're going to talk about the Tao Jeet Kune Do, or the Tao Jeet Kune Do, right? It's basically his masterpiece. He has another book called Striking Thoughts about his philosophies, right? Which is very profound. And John Little did a book. If you want to, work out like Bruce Lee, it's called the Human Expression of the Art of the Body, I believe. That book came out in 1998. But we're gonna go through the Tao Jeet Kune Do, and so. But basically, the Tao Jeet Kune Do is a good book. So it starts off with chapter 1 on Zen. So this chapter is basically about Bruce Lee's thoughts on Zen and how it incorporated into his martial art. There's not a lot of, a lot of people say Bruce Lee was a Buddhist. I tend to agree to disagree. I think that he was more of a Taoist, right? Someone who followed the thought patterns of Lao Tzu. But then the chapter 1 is Zen, Art of the Soul, Jeet Kune Do, Organized Despair, the Facts of Jeet Kune Do, the Formless Form. So Jeet Kune Do is also a philosophy, right? Jeet Kune Do stands for the inner way of the intercepting fist, and there is a curriculum, right? There's a curriculum of Wing Chun, boxing, Savate, all these different things about Jeet Kune Do. But Jeet Kune Do is also a philosophy. You can create your own Jeet Kune Do and call it Jeet Kune Do. Back in the 60s, in 1965, when Bruce Lee was alive, he had Guru Dan and Santo. I think my dates are probably wrong, but I think the tournament where he does the 1 inch punches, I believe, between 63 and 65. And back then it was Jun Feng Gung Fu, right? So it was Bruce Lee's name in Chinese and then Gung Fu, right? And it was a lot of Wing Chun. And then as time progressed, he really got into boxing. He really liked boxing, the footwork of boxing. He had a fight with a guy named Wan Jack Man, and he basically beat the guy, but he was just doing a straight blast. This is a straight blast in Wing Chun, and he had to change his style. So and then the Tao of Jeet Kune Do came out of him hurting his back, doing good morning exercises, which is when you bend down and you go up with the barbell, and he produced the writings that we have today. So, in the Zen chapter, it says, to obtain enlightenment, martial arts means the extinction of everything which obscures true knowledge, the real life. At the same time, it applies boundless expansion, and de-emphasis should fall not on the cultivation of the particular department which merges into the totality, but rather on the totality that enters and unites the particular department. So it's totality in martial arts. And understanding that that your Jeet Kune Do is going to be different than my Jeet Kune Do, because your ability to fight, and like, let's say your Jeet Kune Do is Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga, and something else, right? Now there is a curriculum for Jeet Kune Do. We're going to get into that soon. But so that's 2, and then chapter 2 is preliminary. So he has training, warming up, on guard position, progressive weapons, chart 8, basic defenses, some target areas. Chapter 3, he has qualities that you need to have as a martial artist, right? So coordination, precision, power, endurance, balance, body feel, good form. Not the form that like katas and stuff, but form as a martial artist, how you punch, how you move, how you communicate with your opponent, non-telegraphic punches, all those different things. Speed, timing, and attitude. Chapter 4 is tools. So some weapons from JKD: kicking, striking, grappling, student studies of judo and jujitsu, right? There's a big misconception that JKD guys don't go to the ground. We do go to the ground, right? We know jujitsu and we know it well. Chapter 5, preparations, fence, parries, manipulation. So, you're fencing, you're parrying, all those different things. You want to control center line. You want to be like water, like you want to control center line in a fight. Chapter 6, mobility, distance, footwork, evasiveness. Uh, Chapter 7, there's 5 ways of attack in JKD. Preparation of attack, simple attack, compound attack, counter attack, rapidity way. The five ways of attack. This is actually very, very important. So there's single angle attack, simple angle attack, progressive indirect attack, attack by combination, attack by drawing. Where's the 5th one? Yeah, there's a 5th one. But yeah, this is a great book. I mean, if you don't, he put a lot of the stuff that he uses in here. Then he has a book called Bruce Lee Fighting Method. And that book is profound. He had to not share that book for a long time because people will say, oh, you trained with Bruce Lee. But Bruce Lee was that guy, right? He was that guy that knew what he was talking about. He took different things. He took a lot from fencing. He took from Wing Chun. He took from Chinese boxing. He didn't really get into the Filipino martial arts until later in his life. Right before he passed, that's when Guru Dan DeSanto, who was learning Filipino martial arts himself, was learning and understanding, Lara Mano range, right? All these different things that Bruce Lee taught, and Guru Dan DeSanto. So after Bruce Lee died, Guru Dan DeSanto took the helms. And he learned the La Costa method of Filipino martial arts. He learned all these different things about Filipino martial arts. And, he wrote a book in, I think, like 1978, he wrote a book about the Filipino martial arts. But that's all I have. This is my summary of the Tao of Jeet Kune Do. It's not the greatest summary. I probably need to have, screenshots of different things like that. But this is just me talking. And so the Tao of Jeet Kune Do is a great book. The Tao of Jeet Kune Do. Remember, Jeet Kune Do is the way of the intercepting fist. You have Lap Sao, Pak Sao, right? All these different things that you have in JKD. The Wing Chun aspect, right? And perpetrating the art. So that's all that I have for this video. If you guys want more quality videos, comment, subscribe, and I'll put out more videos. All right, take care. Have a great day. Done.